For nearly 50 years, Chuck E. Cheese has been an iconic part of many people's childhood. Kids from all over have gone to either be mesmerized or traumatized by the animatronic characters. However, will this generation be the last people to know of the rat named Chuck? Today I will be going over just how Chuck E. Cheese has been falling apart for the past 20 years, and what the future could hold for the company. But before we get into that, I have to do the obligatory intro. Hello and welcome to Wyatt Studios, where today I am talking about why Chuck E. Cheese is dead. Today's video will be split into several parts. Now I won't be wasting any more of your precious time, so let's get into it. Part 1 starts all the way back in 1977 with the opening of the first ever Chuck E. Cheese. This location had most things now synonymous with Chuck E. Cheese, such as pizza, arcade games, and animatronics. Chuck E. Cheese had pretty decent success at first, although it did struggle in the video game crash of the mid-80s. From then on, things continued to pick back up. Chuck E. Cheese was a household name. This was until the rise of home video game consoles such as the Atari and the NES. Games like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda were coming out, and suddenly, kids weren't going to arcades like they used to. Chuck E. Cheese continued slowly declining for a factor of reasons. These factors were less than ideal safety, serving of alcohol, lack of interest, loss of the token system, and other brand-causing issues, and lastly, the recent removal of the animatronics from nearly all locations. No establishment is 100% foolproof, however there seems to be an alarming number of violent outbreaks at Chuck E. Cheese. Fights involving over 12 people are not unheard of. There was even a reported incident at a Chuck E. Cheese in Pittsburgh involving as many as 50 people, which, let me just add, is a lot of people to be in a Chuck E. Cheese at one time, especially if that was within like the last 15 years. I have to congratulate that Chuck E. Cheese on having 50 people inside at one time. Suffice to say, Chuck E. Cheese is home to several violent events. Chuck E. Cheese could solve this by implementing more security. Cameras, guards, and other such features could serve to make these incidents much less frequent. Chuck E. Cheese quite infamously offers alcohol to adults. Now let's think about that. Chuck E. Cheese has a problem with violence in their restaurants while also serving alcohol. Now, it should go without saying that serving alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese of all places is greatly irresponsible. Alcohol could possibly be one of the driving factors of all the fights that take place. If Chuck E. Cheese cuts the alcohol or put very strict limits on it, things may turn around. The company does have a 2-drink policy, although there is evidence, a report by Inside Edition a few years ago, of employees outright ignoring this rule. Hey, do you like this video? Do you want to see more videos about random topics similar to this one? Is that your cup of tea? Well, be sure to subscribe to Wyatt Studios and make sure you have the bell colored white, or black if you're a monster that uses light mode. It helps the channel out a ton and shows me that people care. My goal is to hit 50 subscribers by the end of June, and we're pretty close, so if you want to help out, go ahead and subscribe. With that, I'm going to go back to talking about Chuck E. Cheese. Kids these days are not like the kids of the 70s, especially now with Generation Alpha and kids being handed their parents' iPads. Interest in arcades and entertainment at restaurants is at an all-time low. There's just no reason to go to Chuck E. Cheese and risk getting in a 30-person fistfight when instead you can get Domino's or Pizza Hut, or any other safer, faster option. And let's not forget how Chuck E. Cheese's pizza is so mangled and uneven that the YouTube channel Food Theory made an entire video testing if they reused the pizza. That's right, people don't even know if Chuck E. Cheese is serving them their own food or leftovers. Because of this, there just isn't as much of a reason to go to Chuck E. Cheese, especially with all the problems.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
In 2014, a small indie game developer named Scott Coffin released a game called Five Nights at Freddy's. The game absolutely blew up and is still immensely popular today. It is also a horror game inspired by Chuck E. Cheese. This game was also popular among kids. This changed the overall outlook on Chuck E. Cheese as a brand. In fact, during October of 2023, Chuck E. Cheese did a special event called Five Nights of Fun, obviously copying Five Nights at Freddy's, which released a movie around that same time. Employees were banned from even mentioning FNAF in any way. Recently, CEC Entertainment, the parent company of Chuck E. Cheese, has announced the removal of the animatronics from nearly all locations. Now there is really no reason to go to Chuck E. Cheese. They removed the one thing that made them unique. This really seems to be one of the final nails in the coffin for the company. Chuck E. Cheese is unfortunately on its last legs. However, there's perhaps something that can maybe not save Chuck E. Cheese itself, but save the concept of family entertainment restaurants. I won't go into details in this video. I will do a part 2, however, but it's easier than it seems. There's definitely a demand for the old Chuck E. Cheese feel. But with that, I'll end the video, and I will be back hopefully sooner than it took to make this video, with a brand new video.